Nintendo has announced some time ago that they were making a Princess Peach game. Over the months, the footage got released and it looked promising. However, recently they've shown extended gameplay and I started having doubts. At the same time, I also started playing Shantae. There was a Steam sale and got curious on whether or not I would like the style. So I booted a Game Boy Color ROM of the original. The game looked enticing, but a little too simplistic. However, Shantae turned out to be really interesting. Despite its simplicity, it manages to make the player think in many ways. You really have to care about distance and timing. Despite being on Game Boy, a system that was really limited by the technology at the time, the game turned out amazing. I know many won't agree with this last statement, but many games suffered from being limited on a Game Boy, Metroid being a prime example. Although it depends on the game, and sometimes it was an issue with only certain elements, like Link's Awakening and the constant item switching. In that same vein, Princess Peach is simple but very effective. The highlight was one of the levels for which I did not have expectations, the pastry level. What simply started as icing a cake became a more layered yet still simple endeavor. The cake starts to move, the patterns are more complicated, and on top of that, you already had a time limit. In the end, you genuinely want to go back and finish the levels at 100%. You're not going to miss much, but the experience is engaging enough that you do care about having a complete file. I could also have used Kirby as an example of what this game is. The Kirby games are not hard by any metrics, but they keep bringing back people. The important thing that people confuse is that hard does not make a game good and easy does not make a game bad. People conflate the two by association, i.e. the game industry 25 years ago. If the game is poorly balanced, the difficulty can be detrimental. It will only make you hyper aware of the lack of care towards the balance. What matters is that you keep the player engaged by making them participate. In that regard, you need to have varied or multiple inputs. You need problem solving through navigational puzzles brought by level design, combat encounters, or puzzles. This game has that. My only worry is that it might seem a tad short based on the demo, and games are expensive nowadays however you cut it. It's not just cartridge based games anymore. In this day and age, I would much rather play a game that doesn't overstay its welcome, yet I do want a bang for my buck and would hope that there's replayability. This doesn't seem like it, unlike a Resident Evil game. Despite all this, after the demo, I will eventually pick up the game. It plays well, but it also looks very good. I like this aesthetic of presenting things as a play. The contrast between the cartoony characters and the surreal, hyper-realistic sets. This is a video game. It's a quaint idea that plays well. Let's not forget that one of the main reasons to replay a game is that it simply feels good. This is not political, games as a service, or open world. It's just a game and I think it deserves a chance just for that.